Have you ever noticed that some signs appear in your life as if they want to challenge you, pushing you towards something greater? Perhaps you've experienced coincidences so strange they seemed impossible to ignore. What few people know is that these experiences are much more than just simple events. They are signs of spiritual gifts that only the chosen ones receive. Today, I'm going to reveal the 7 most powerful gifts that God has reserved for those who carry a special mission. These talents may seem like weaknesses or even obstacles at first, but they are actually mysterious gifts that have the power to advance you spiritually and change the course of your life. Stay with me, because each revelation here might be the missing piece for you to understand your true identity and purpose. And at the end, you will discover the most impactful gift of all, the one that transforms everything. Maybe you have felt something special, but couldn't put it into words. Maybe you notice things that others ignore, or face struggles that seem disproportionate. It is not by chance. This is part of your calling. The chosen ones go through intense challenges because they carry within them a unique mission, and these spiritual gifts are the tools that God places in their path to guide them. If this has ever happened to you, I want you to stay until the end of this video, because the last spiritual gift is the most powerful of all. It not only reveals the purpose of your existence, but also how you can use it to transform your life and help those around you. God chose you for a reason, and these gifts are living proof of that. Each of these gifts is a key piece that explains why you are different, why you feel things so deeply, and why you often feel misunderstood. As I talk about each one of them, I want you to think about how they are already manifesting in your life. Listen carefully, because this could be a turning point in your spiritual journey. When we talk about the chosen ones, we are referring to people who have a unique and deep connection with the divine plan. They are souls that, in some way, have been set apart for a greater purpose, a mission that goes beyond human understanding. Being chosen does not mean being perfect or superior to others, but rather someone who carries a special calling. This calling often comes with significant challenges that test faith, resilience, and the ability to grow spiritually. It is in this context that spiritual gifts come into play, not as a reward, but as essential tools for fulfilling this mission. These spiritual gifts are like keys that open doors to greater realities. They are not privileges granted for the chosen ones to stand out, but instruments that enable them to illuminate the path for others and manifest the divine plan on earth. Each gift carries responsibilities that are not always easy to bear. It's as if God is saying, "I trust you to bring this light where there is darkness." Spiritual gifts do not eliminate difficulties, but they allow the chosen ones to face challenges with courage and purpose. Many wonder why only the chosen ones receive these gifts. The answer lies in the very essence of who they are. People who have gone through trials, who have been shaped by the fire of adversity, and who, through these experiences, have developed a deeper connection with God. The chosen ones are not perfect, but they have willing hearts and open spirits to hear the divine voice. It is this willingness that makes them receptive to spiritual gifts and enables them to use them to transform lives around them. It is important to understand that these gifts are not just blessings. They also come with challenges. Imagine carrying a responsibility as great as being a channel of light in a world full of shadows. This requires unshakable faith, spiritual discipline, and a constant commitment to the purpose. Spiritual gifts are a mix of power and responsibility. When used correctly, they can transform the life of the chosen one and everyone around them. When neglected, they can become burdens that are difficult to bear. Each spiritual gift is an expression of the divine plan. For example, the gift of wisdom helps the chosen ones make decisions guided by the Holy Spirit, while the gift of discernment enables them to distinguish what is from God and what is not. The gift of healing allows them to be instruments of physical and spiritual restoration, and the gift of prophecy gives them the vision to guide and inspire others. These gifts, although powerful, are granted with a purpose: to build, protect, and guide God's people. God does not choose the prepared, He prepares the chosen. This phrase carries a profound truth. No one is born ready to carry a divine mission. It is in the process of surrender, learning, and transformation that the chosen ones are prepared. Spiritual gifts are a fundamental part of this process. They not only enable the chosen ones to accomplish what seems impossible, but also help them grow spiritually, strengthening their connection with God and their faith in divine promises. To receive and use these gifts fully, the chosen ones must be willing to embrace both the blessings and the challenges that come with them. This means accepting that spiritual gifts can attract opposition, misunderstanding, and even persecution. However, it also means recognizing that, despite these difficulties, God never abandons His own. The gifts are proof that, even in the toughest battles, the chosen ones are not alone. They have a supernatural strength that sustains and guides them. Another important point is that spiritual gifts do not exist to exalt the chosen one's ego. In fact, they require humility and a heart oriented towards service. Those who receive these gifts must understand that they are instruments to carry out God's plan and not tools for personal gain. The chosen ones who understand this can impact lives in extraordinary ways, becoming true agents of transformation in the world. These gifts are also a constant reminder that the chosen ones are part of something much greater than themselves. Each gift is like a piece of a great spiritual puzzle. When used with wisdom and love, it fits perfectly into the divine plan, bringing light, hope, and healing to those who need it most. That is why the chosen ones cannot isolate themselves or hide their gifts. They need to share what they have received and fulfill the mission to which they were called. Spiritual gifts are the way God prepares the chosen ones to face the challenges of the world and fulfill their divine missions. They are not a burden or a privilege, but a demonstration of God's love and trust. If you identify as a chosen one, remember, each gift you have received is a divine present, but also a sacred responsibility. Use it with wisdom, courage, and humility, knowing that through you, God is accomplishing something extraordinary. Being a chosen one is not just a title or an immediate blessing. It is an intense and transformative journey. Before manifesting the most powerful spiritual gifts, true chosen ones face challenges that often seem unbearable. These obstacles are not punishments, but rather part of a divine plan to prepare them. God uses these difficulties as a form of spiritual training, shaping character, strengthening the soul, and aligning the chosen one with the purpose entrusted to them. Why do the chosen ones face so many challenges before discovering their gifts? The answer lies in the essence of the divine plan. Each test that arises in the life of a chosen one has a purpose, to purify and refine. It's like gold being heated in the fire to remove impurities. God allows you to face battles because He knows that what is coming is too grand to be borne by an unprepared soul. The trials teach resilience, patience, and unwavering faith, indispensable virtues for those with a greater purpose. Imagine that each obstacle you face is like a piece of a spiritual puzzle. The tests not only reveal weaknesses, but also highlight areas that need strengthening. This is why many chosen ones face rejections, financial losses, loneliness, or even deep self-doubt. These challenges do not arise to destroy, but to train. Just as a warrior prepares for battle, the chosen ones go through this stage to become masters of their gifts. Many chosen ones wonder, why me? Why is my life so full of challenges? The answer lies in the strength that these challenges are developing in you. Each time you overcome a trial, something in you changes. You become wiser, more resilient, more connected with your spirituality. It's as if each battle is a reminder that you are being shaped for something much greater. The gifts that are about to manifest need a strong and prepared vessel. Besides strength, obstacles also develop wisdom. Often, the solution to a problem or the overcoming of a challenge requires a deep connection with the divine. This connection teaches the chosen one to trust in God, to listen to the voice of intuition, and to understand that every experience has a greater purpose. This acquired wisdom is fundamental for the use of spiritual gifts, as the chosen ones need to use them with discernment and responsibility. Now pause for a moment and reflect. When was the last time you felt you were being tested? What did that moment reveal about you? This practice of reflection is essential for the chosen ones. Each challenge carries a lesson. Identifying these lessons is like unlocking levels in a spiritual game. Therefore, take time to think about what your experiences have taught you. This not only strengthens your journey, but also prepares your soul to receive the promised gifts. Trials are divine tools to transform the chosen one into their best version. It is common that, in the beginning, these experiences seem unbearable. But looking back, you realize that they were exactly what you needed to grow. Many chosen ones report that the most difficult periods of their lives were the ones that brought them closest to God and prepared them for great achievements. This is the hidden power of tests. They not only teach, but also transform. Spiritual gifts do not arise out of nowhere. They are rewards given by God to those who have demonstrated perseverance, faith, and humility during trials. When the gifts begin to manifest, the chosen one realizes that everything they faced had a greater purpose. This understanding brings not only gratitude, but also a new perspective on life and on their spiritual mission. For each chosen one, the path is unique, but the strategy is universal. Learn from the challenges. Start to see each obstacle as a tool, not a burden. When you change your perspective and begin to see difficulties as growth opportunities, something magical happens. You not only overcome the problem, but you also grow with it. This practice is essential for those who wish to manifest their spiritual gifts and fulfill their divine mission. True chosen ones understand that challenges are not punishments, but invitations to a deeper level of spiritual understanding. So today, take a moment to reflect. What was the greatest challenge you have faced so far? What did it reveal about you? The answer could be the first step to unlocking your most powerful spiritual gifts. Remember, every test you overcome is a confirmation that you are on the right path, being prepared by God for something extraordinary. Spiritual gifts are divine presents granted to the chosen ones, and when they start to manifest, they are impossible to ignore. These signs are not random. They carry profound meanings that indicate you are being prepared for something greater. Whether it is a vivid dream that seems to contain an important message, or an intuition so strong that it seems to guide your decisions, these signs are ways in which God communicates directly with you, highlighting that you are on the right path to fulfilling your purpose. Let's explore the physical, emotional, and spiritual signs that indicate you are receiving your gifts, helping you recognize them clearly. Many people report physical changes when receiving their spiritual gifts. It may be a slight sensation of warmth or energy flowing through the body, as if something greater is being activated in you. Another common sign is increased sensitivity to environments, such as feeling the energy of a place or the people around you more intensely. Even changes in the sleep cycle, like repeatedly waking up at specific times in the early morning, can be a sign that something spiritual is happening. These manifestations are the body's response to what is being deposited in you spiritually. In the emotional field, the signs can present themselves as heightened sensitivity. You may find yourself more connected to the feelings of others, as if you were able to absorb their emotions. This increase in empathy is an indication that your gifts are being refined. On the other hand, there may be an emotional clarity, as if you could precisely identify what you are feeling and why you are feeling it. These emotional signs are not meant to overwhelm you, but to prepare you to exercise your gifts with wisdom and compassion. Intuition is one of the clearest spiritual signs. You start to feel that you know things without a logical explanation, as if you were being directly guided by God. Additionally, dreams play an important role. They become more vivid and loaded with symbolic messages. Sometimes you wake up with the feeling that a dream was more real than your own reality. Pay attention to these dreams, as they often contain divine guidance or warnings about the next steps to follow. Not everything that happens around you is a spiritual sign, and it is important to learn to discern. Real signs usually come accompanied by an internal sense of certainty, as if something inside you knows it is more than a simple coincidence. Moreover, spiritual signs often repeat synchronously, such as seeing the same numbers repeatedly, hearing similar messages from different sources, or feeling a special connection with something that seems to have a greater purpose. Learning to discern real signs is part of the spiritual development process. God, in His infinite wisdom, uses signs as a direct way of communicating with the chosen ones. These signs are more than mere indications. They are invitations to a deeper and more intimate relationship with Him. Often, God uses signs because He knows we are surrounded by distractions that can keep us away from our mission. When you recognize these signs, you are accepting the opportunity to align with the divine plan for your life. Each sign is like a message written especially for you, showing that God is attentive and guiding your steps. Spiritual signs not only indicate that you are receiving gifts, but also reveal the mission for which you were chosen. When you begin to notice a pattern in the signs, they usually point to areas of your life where God wants you to act. For example, an increase in your empathy may be a call to help people who are suffering. A recurring dream may be indicating a specific direction to follow. Paying attention to these patterns is essential to understanding the greater purpose behind the gifts you are receiving. A powerful way to interpret the signs is to record them. Take a notebook or journal and write down the signs that have appeared in your life over the past weeks or months. Write about dreams, intuitions, feelings, and any experience that has made a deep impression on you. Then, reflect on the meaning of each sign and ask God for guidance in prayer. This practice helps you organize your thoughts and see how God is consistently communicating with you. As you begin to identify the signs, It is also important to reflect on the impact of spiritual gifts in your life. They are not just presents, they are tools to transform your reality and the reality of those around you. When you recognize the signs and understand that they point to your gifts, you begin to realize that your life has a greater purpose. The gifts are like keys that open doors to fulfill the divine mission that is upon you. Recognizing the signs and embracing spiritual gifts is a journey of faith and trust. It won't always be easy, but know that every step you take towards your purpose is guided by God. He will never leave you without guidance, and the signs are proof of that. Trust the process. As a chosen one, you are destined to make a difference in the world. How many times have you felt weak, lost, or vulnerable? Perhaps it was precisely in those moments that something inside you began to awaken. Weakness is not a sign of defeat. On the contrary, it is the fertile ground where the most powerful spiritual gifts germinate. God uses these moments to open the eyes of the chosen ones, showing that despite apparent fragility, there is extraordinary strength dormant within each of us. Weakness is the call to look within and seek the light that, until then, was hidden. Moments of vulnerability play a crucial role in spiritual awakening. It is when we are stripped of pride, masks, and self-sufficiency that we become more receptive to divine guidance. Imagine yourself as a broken vessel. It is precisely through the cracks that God's light can enter and transform your entire being. Many chosen ones report that it was in moments of total surrender, where they felt incapable of continuing, that they experienced the first signs of their spiritual gifts. Have you ever wondered why God allows us to face such intense challenges? The truth is that He uses these moments as tools for refinement. Just as a raw diamond needs to be polished to reveal its beauty, the chosen one goes through situations that test their faith and strength to emerge even more powerful. God is not interested in destroying us with difficulties, but in shaping our character, strengthening our spirit, and preparing us to carry the gifts He has reserved for us. When we face difficulties, something profound happens within us. These experiences break down the barriers of ego, doubt, and fear, allowing us to connect with the true essence of our soul. Weakness teaches us humility, and it is in humility that we become capable of hearing God's voice. Spiritual refinement is painful, but each blow we receive is another step in the revelation of the divine purpose that has been assigned to us. Great spiritual transformations begin in the greatest weaknesses. Think of figures like Moses, who was stuttering and insecure but was called by God to free an entire people, or David, who was just a shepherd before becoming king. In the story of each chosen one, we find a pattern. God transforms their limitations into powerful tools to fulfill the divine purpose. It is in failures and vulnerabilities that true spiritual potential manifests. Many of the most powerful spiritual gifts only manifest when the chosen one acknowledges their fragility. Intuition, for example, is intensified when we abandon control and trust fully in God. The gift of wisdom arises when we learn from mistakes. And the gift of healing is revealed when we allow our own wounds to serve as testimony for divine restoration. Each weakness carries within it the embryo of an extraordinary gift. Maintaining faith during trials is essential. It is faith that keeps us standing when everything seems lost, and it is faith that attracts the divine strength to lift us. God does not choose perfect people. He chooses those who are willing to trust in Him, even when everything around them seems to be falling apart. Your faith is the bridge between your weakness and the manifestation of the spiritual gifts that have been reserved for you. If you talk to those who have experienced a spiritual awakening, you will see that many began this journey at a point of total vulnerability. Whether a loss, rejection, or failure, these moments were transformed into springboards for the discovery of their divine mission. The testimony of the chosen ones is living proof that God uses our struggles to prepare us for something much greater. When we allow God to work in our weaknesses, we discover that these areas become our greatest strengths. It's like a tree that, after a storm, grows with even deeper and stronger roots. Your weakness does not define who you are. It only marks the beginning of a transformation that will reveal your true spiritual power. God is shaping you for something you can't yet see, but it will be grand. Your weakness is the starting point for the awakening of your spiritual strength. Do not resist these moments of vulnerability. Embrace them as part of the divine process. It is in weakness that you will discover the spiritual gifts that make you unique and capable of fulfilling your mission in this world. Allow yourself to be shaped by God, and you will see how He can transform even the greatest difficulties into a story of victory. You are strong, even if you haven't realized it yet. Many people spend their lives seeking answers externally, trying to find meaning in achievements, people, or circumstances. However, true chosen ones know that the greatest spiritual treasures are not outside, but within themselves. Discovering and accepting spiritual gifts begins with a profound inner journey. This requires courage to face your own doubts, shadows, and limitations, because only when we become aware of who we truly are can we begin to understand the gifts that God has given us. The noise of the world often prevents us from hearing the divine voice that whispers in our hearts. It is in silence that spiritual gifts begin to reveal themselves. Taking time to quiet the mind and spirit is essential for the chosen ones. When you dedicate yourself to silencing external distractions, you create space for God to speak clearly, allowing you to recognize and understand the unique talents He has placed in your life. Self-knowledge is the bridge between the human and the divine. By knowing yourself deeply, you can identify not only your qualities and potentials, but also your fears and weaknesses. Spiritual gifts are often hidden in aspects that we have not yet accepted about ourselves. When you embrace who you are as a whole, including your vulnerabilities, you pave the way for the gifts to manifest fully and powerfully. Self-knowledge and spirituality are not separate paths. They walk side by side. By delving into spirituality, you discover deeper aspects of your soul. Similarly, the more you know yourself, the closer your connection with the divine becomes. This integration allows you to realize that spiritual gifts are not just tools for your journey, but also a reflection of your essence and purpose in God's greater plan. Techniques such as meditation, prayer, and contemplation are essential to deepen the connection with your gifts. In meditation, you learn to silence the mind, allowing divine insights to emerge. In prayer, you converse with God, asking for guidance and clarity. In contemplation, you reflect deeply on the divine presence in your life and how your gifts can be used to serve the greater purpose given to you. A simple but powerful practice is to start each day with 5 minutes of silence. During this time, close your eyes, breathe deeply, and ask God for clarity about the purpose He has placed in your life. By doing this regularly, you will start to notice small revelations and signs that indicate the path you should follow. This practice not only calms your mind, but also creates a direct connection with the divine source of your gifts. By aligning your heart with the divine will, you become more sensitive to spiritual guidance. Often, gifts are revealed in moments of surrender and trust when we let go of control and allow God to guide us. This surrender is not passivity, but rather a conscious action of being available for God's plans. It is in this state of openness that you discover how your gifts can impact the world around you. Even the chosen ones face challenges in discovering and accepting their gifts. Fears, insecurities, and external expectations can block this journey. Recognizing these obstacles is the first step to overcoming them. Remember, your gifts were not given by chance. They have a specific purpose. By confronting what prevents you from embracing your talents, you become stronger and more prepared to use them in alignment with the divine plan. Besides individual practices like meditation and prayer, creating daily spiritual rituals is an effective way to strengthen your connection with God and your gifts. This can include reading sacred texts, reflective writing, or moments of gratitude. These practices build a solid foundation so that you feel connected to the divine purpose, even on days when the challenges seem greater than the answers. Many struggle to accept their gifts out of fear of the responsibility they bring. However, know that God never gives a gift without also providing the strength and resources to use it. Accepting your gifts is accepting your role in the divine plan, recognizing that you were chosen to be an instrument of light and transformation in the world. Now that you understand what it means to be chosen, the signs that indicate your path, and how your weaknesses can be transformed, it's time to reveal the 7 most powerful gifts that God bestows upon those He chooses. Prepare yourself, because these gifts may not be what you expect, but each one of them has the potential to transform your life forever. True chosen ones possess a heightened spiritual sensitivity that sets them apart significantly. This gift allows them to perceive subtle energies that most people ignore, making them clear receivers of intuitions and signs sent by the universe and God. It's as if the invisible world constantly reveals itself, guiding them toward their greater purpose. This sensitivity can manifest in various ways. Inexplicable sensations when entering an environment, premonitions about people or situations, or even dreams and visions that bring significant messages. If you have experienced this, know that it is no coincidence. It is a clear sign that you have been chosen for something greater. To use this sensitivity as a practical tool, the secret lies in listening to and interpreting the signs you receive. When facing important decisions, this connection can guide us to choices more aligned with our purpose. Ask yourself, what do I feel in my heart when considering this decision? Or does the energy of this situation feel light or heavy? Often, the answer lies in how you feel, even before any concrete evidence appears. This sensitivity is not a burden but a spiritual compass, keeping you aligned with the path that God has prepared for you. A simple and powerful practice to strengthen your connection with this sensitivity is the daily meditation exercise to hear intuitions. Set aside 10 minutes a day to sit in silence, focusing on your breath and asking the universe, what do I need to know now? Visualize a bright light surrounding you, bringing clarity and protection. Allow your mind to calm down and be attentive to the thoughts, images, or sensations that arise. Write everything down in a journal right after meditation. Over time, you will notice that these messages become increasingly clear and that your spiritual sensitivity will be an indispensable tool to guide your choices and fulfill your destiny as a true chosen one. Have you ever faced moments in life when the pain seemed unbearable? Maybe you lost something or someone important, faced rejections that hurt your soul, or even went through periods of deep loneliness. As a chosen one, these pains do not arise by chance. They are not just scars but marks of a divine process that transforms your essence and strengthens your spirit. God allows these experiences to reach you because He knows you are capable of enduring them, and more than that, He knows you will be able to use them for a greater purpose. Each tear shed is a seed planted, destined to bloom into strength, resilience, and wisdom. These pains have shaped you, not to destroy you, but so that you become a beacon for those still in the dark. This unique ability to reframe challenges is what sets true chosen ones apart. While many let themselves be consumed by difficulties, you are called to transform them into lessons and testimonies. Imagine the impact your story can have on other lives. Each battle overcome, each wound healed, becomes a map to guide others who are lost. You become a living example that the impossible can be overcome, and that pain does not need to be the end of the story, but the beginning of a chapter of victory. The power to reframe difficulties is like a spiritual gift that enables you to inspire, strengthen, and even heal the people around you simply by sharing what you have learned. This is what makes you more than a survivor. This is what makes you a chosen one. To make this ability even more evident, here is a practical tool. Set aside a moment to write about one of the most challenging difficulties you have faced and how you managed to overcome it. Reflect on what you learned in the process and how it changed you. It can be something small but significant, or a great victory over adversity. By doing this, you will see how much you have grown and how strong you have become. More than that, you will begin to see the purpose behind these experiences. This practice not only helps you better understand your own power, but also prepares you to use your story as a powerful tool to impact lives and fulfill your purpose as a chosen one. The chosen ones possess a rare and extraordinary gift, the ability to deeply connect with the universal truth. This gift goes beyond what the eyes can see or the ears can hear. It's as if they can pierce through the superficial layers of reality and access a level of understanding reserved only for those with a greater purpose. While many get lost in the illusions of the world, distractions, false promises, and empty paths, the chosen ones are like beacons that shine brightly, illuminating what is true, essential, and eternal. This connection with truth does not happen by chance. It is cultivated through challenging experiences, moments of deep reflection, and total surrender to divine guidance. This is why the chosen ones are often misunderstood. They see what others cannot and hear what the world tries to silence. This ability to discern the real from the illusory completely transforms a chosen one's life. While most follow fleeting trends, seduced by popular opinions and easier paths, the chosen ones remain steadfast in their quest for truth. They know that universal truth is not shaped by circumstances or the voices of the crowd. It is eternal, unbreakable, and written in the very heart of those called by God. This is why they do not follow the crowds. They have the courage to go against the current, even if it means facing criticism, rejection, or loneliness. This gift of a deep connection with the universal truth makes them natural spiritual leaders, even though they often prefer silence and contemplation over public recognition. They know that true wealth lies in remaining aligned with what is pure and eternal. But how can we cultivate this connection with the universal truth? The path lies through sincere prayer and deep contemplation. Prayer opens the channels for God's voice to be heard and for the heart to be purified from external influences. Contemplation, on the other hand, allows the chosen one to disconnect from the noise of the world and tune in to the divine essence that dwells within. Set aside a moment of your day to silence your mind, meditate on the great questions of life, and ask yourself, what is true for me at this moment? The more you dedicate yourself to these spiritual habits, the more you will strengthen your connection with the universal truth and be ready to live your purpose as a chosen one fully. Remember, you are called to be a guide, and only those connected with the truth can illuminate the path for others. True chosen ones have an almost magnetic power to inspire and transform the people around them. This gift is not necessarily tied to grand words or dramatic gestures, but to the authenticity with which they live their lives. When you are a chosen one, your presence alone carries an energy that touches people's hearts, even without you realizing it. This power of positive influence is not just a talent, but a spiritual responsibility. God has entrusted you with the ability to plant seeds of change in places where hope seemed lost and where purpose was dormant. Every word you say, every action, no matter how small, carries the potential to generate profound transformations. For example, imagine the impact of a simple smile directed at someone who is having a difficult day. Or think about how a kind gesture, like holding a door or offering a genuine compliment, can completely change another person's emotional state. A chosen one who acts with intention creates waves of transformation on a level that is not always immediately visible. A word of encouragement said at the right moment can be enough to rekindle dreams, restore confidence, and bring light where there was once darkness. Thus, the chosen ones become true channels of divine energy, spreading love, understanding, and purpose in every interaction. To cultivate this gift in a practical way, here is a simple challenge. Choose one person to help today. It can be a friend who needs advice, a colleague who is overwhelmed, or even a stranger who seems to need a little support. Do it with intention, knowing that your action is aligned with a greater purpose. Then, carefully observe how this small act creates a positive effect not only in that person's life, but also in yours. Because by offering light, you also illuminate yourself. This is how the gift of positive influence works, a cycle of blessings that expands and transforms everyone it touches. If there is something that true chosen ones recognize throughout their journeys, it is the constant feeling of being protected by something greater. Often, the chosen ones face situations that could easily have ended in disaster, but end up emerging unscathed in an almost miraculous way. Whether it's an accident avoided at the last second, a seemingly simple decision that steered them away from danger, or even a premonition that led them to change their path, these events are not coincidences. They are clear evidence that God is taking care of every step they take. This protection is not just physical, but also emotional and spiritual, shielding the chosen ones from negative energies and attacks that could divert them from their purpose. Many accounts show how this divine protection operates inexplicably. There are stories of people who, for an unknown reason, delayed leaving the house and avoided a serious accident, or those who were about to trust someone untrustworthy, but felt an internal warning to stay away. This feeling of being shielded is something that only the chosen ones, aligned with God's purpose, can experience so intensely. When they share their experiences, they often hear the same response: "You were saved by a miracle." And indeed, they were. Divine protection is one of the greatest proofs that the chosen ones do not walk alone. Every rescue, every deliverance, is a reminder that there is a higher force guiding and protecting them. And you know what's amazing? When you activate this gift, doors open in ways you never imagined. The universe conspires in your favor, and even your greatest challenges turn into opportunities. But be careful. This gift requires responsibility. It is given only to those who are ready to take on the role of spiritual leaders, who understand that their mission is greater than their own desires. If you have come this far, it is not by chance. You were guided to hear this message. God wants you to awaken to the potential that is already within you. Have you ever stopped to think about the power your words and intentions have over your life and the world around you? As a chosen one, you possess a special gift, the ability to co-create reality. This is not just an ordinary ability, but a spiritual authority granted by God. And this authority is not about control or manipulation, but about alignment with the divine purpose. It is the ability to connect with God's will and manifest, through word and intention, the promises and plans He has for your life. In practice, This means that your words carry spiritual weight. Every sentence you pronounce and every intentional thought are seeds you plant in the soil of your existence. When your words are misaligned with the divine will, words of doubt, negativity, or fear, you end up nurturing a reality of scarcity and limitation. But when your words and intentions are aligned with God's plan, you unlock unlimited power, a creative force that can transform not only your own life but also the lives of those around you. This alignment begins with awareness. You need to understand that God has entrusted you with this authority so that you use your voice as an instrument of light and truth. Therefore, what you speak and desire must be in harmony with the spiritual values that God places in your heart. When you affirm something like, "I am a chosen one, and my words create the reality that God has prepared for me," it is not just a beautiful phrase. It is a declaration of faith and a call to action for you to start living according to this reality. The key to accessing this spiritual authority is remembering that it comes from the connection with the divine. When you place yourself in prayer and seek to understand God's purpose for your life, you begin to realize that your voice is not just your own. It is an echo of the divine will. It is not about imposing your own will on the universe, but about channeling what is true, pure, and elevated. It is at this point that your words become powerful because they are backed by the source of all creation. How to put this into practice? Start with a simple but transformative tool, the practice of affirmation. Every morning, before starting the day, declare, "I am a chosen one of God, and my words create the reality He has prepared for me." Do this with faith, believing in what you say, and notice how your energy begins to change. Affirmation is not just a mental exercise, but a way to realign your vibration with divine promises. When you do this consistently, your perception of reality begins to expand, and you become more aware of the impact your words have on the world. Additionally, observe your thoughts and speech throughout the day. Whenever you notice that you are about to say something that contradicts faith or reinforces a limited view, stop and change course. Replace words of doubt with words of faith. Instead of saying, "I will never be able to overcome this," declare, "With God, I can overcome any challenge." By doing this, you are reprogramming your mind and aligning your reality with what God wants to manifest in your life. Remember, you are called to be a co-creator alongside God. This is an honor and a responsibility. Do not take your words lightly because each of them carries the potential to shape your destiny and the destiny of those around you. Choose words of power, love, and truth. And trust that, by doing this, you are fulfilling the greater purpose for which you were chosen. God has placed in your hands and in your voice the ability to manifest miracles. Use it wisely, and you will see the impossible become reality. Now tell me, are you ready to activate your gift of divine creation? Leave a comment with the phrase, "I am ready to create with God," as an act of faith and declaration of your purpose. Thank you for following me this far. If this content resonated with your heart, like and share this video with those who might also relate. Subscribe to the channel for more transformative messages. We are together on this spiritual journey. If you wake up at 3 a.m., know that God is trying to talk to you. Click now on the next video and find out why.